stupidest thing don't learn neither. No such thing as a smartphone or smart nothing. All these things are stupid. Machines are dumb. Like I said, the TV is so stupid. It can't. They all call smart. These machines are all real smart. The TV, when you try to turn the volume up, a woman's voice comes on to tell you what the volume is. Whenever you want to turn the volume up or down on the TV, you want to turn it up because you want to hear what's going on the TV, but you can't because when you turn it up, the woman's voice comes on to tell you what the volume is, and she talks over the voice. So if you want to turn it down, hear what's going on outside the TV, the woman's voice comes on telling you what the TV volume is, and it's always a lot higher than the volume that's on there. Anyway, it's just the stupidest thing in the world. The TV, I play the same movie over and over again. I'm not kidding. I play the same movie for 3 or 4 days straight, but the TV can never figure that out. I gotta program it in like every time because the TV's an idiot. Just like, when I got thrown out of the store yesterday, I think it was yesterday, yeah, the girl, right? I go in the store and I ask the question, if I, had removed my nose and put an elephant's trunk, would I be an elephant? Or if I, chopped my arms off and if I attached wings, would I be a bird? And of course, the next question is, well, then how come Bruce Jenner removes his genitals and he becomes a woman? Or he removes his penis and becomes a woman? You want to attribute all these abilities to doctors and medical science. Medical science can't fix a cavity in a tooth. When you get a cavity in your tooth, they drill it and kill it. They can't mend even a tooth. How are they going to make a human being or anything like that? How could people believe what the medical experts consider to be expert? They're all full of crap. They're all drunken on their own power, which they have none. This power was given by people. The Spanish were the most surprised of everybody when we decided to go 2 languages. They couldn't believe we were being that stupid. I couldn't believe it either. Why complicate a situation that's already simple? They didn't start speaking German when my relatives came here. They didn't start speaking Italian when the Italians came here, or Irish when the Irish started coming here. Why do we start speaking Spanish? Well, some of the Spanish have been coming here longer than anybody has. And they never asked anybody to speak Spanish. Somebody encouraged that Spanish thing. Another thing that amazes me, when I talk to young black men, and we're talking about slavery and stuff, well, I mean, people talk about slavery. I don't know why. It was like 250 years ago. I never had slaves. My parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents never did, and neither did 99.9% of the people in the United States, at least in the North, whatever. Get over it. This kid I used to work with is talking about in the school, they're putting on in the auditorium a 200-year-old. I mean, they're trying to bring up this, dredge up hate over slavery that none of them has any idea what it's about. Neither do the people who are presenting the information. They read it's not important. But he was asking about his friends that die in the neighborhood right now. Like he's saying, well, my friends are dying in the neighborhood right now. What about them? Nobody wants to talk about them. You're talking about 200-year-old stuff that happened that's got nothing to do with anything today. And it doesn't have anything to do with anything ever, anywhere. Past never does. We try not to repeat the past, but we don't have to regurgitate in everybody's faces every day. Let's move on. Stop bitching and start pitching in. The people that are bitching or get on the, especially the celebrities, they get up there and say, we need to assassinate Trump, or that he's the most, show me where he's so... I hear of a lot of accusations when I go on the internet, or when I make a lot of commentaries. I spend hours at it, and I comment. And a lot of them, all of the insults that I get, or the hatred that I get, is all people who have no intelligence at all, because they never say anything intelligent. They just insult and throw their hatred around. It's just amazingly stupid. Like Ocasio, when she says the world's going to end in 12 years, that's Chicken Little. Don't you know there's a story that a little chicken was hit in the head with a pot of old burritos or something, or beans? A chicken walking down the street gets hit in the head with a pot of burritos somebody threw out because it was bad. It hit the chicken in the head, and the chicken said, the sky is falling, and ran around to everybody saying, run for your lives, the sky is falling, the sky is falling. That's the Chicken Little story. Nobody's ever heard of it. Nobody brings it up. The cowards in Washington, I cannot understand them at all. They are the most pathetic bunch of pusillanimous women I have ever seen. These two women, both of them are speaking indictable offenses in this country. Is there not an attorney out there with just a modicum or an infinitesimal piece of morals left at all? Is it all about money? You're going to perish with your money. Everybody's going to perish with their money, because it's not the sin, it's not the money, it's what you do with it. Just sit, like I was in the store the other day, and me and this woman are both looking at a pizza. And I said, it's not the pizza's the sin, it's what you do with the pizza. Money's not a sin, love of money is a sin. Now, I may be an ascetic or a typically hard guy or whatever, but I would think that if you're curious about Jesus and you want to, I have friends who are very devout. I mean, they live the Bible instead of reading it. But they shouldn't make a mistake of implying something about Christ that's not true. Like one of my friends said that Christ is a humble man. Now, you can make that statement if you can back it up with Scripture. You can make any statement you want. You back it up with Scripture. But if you hadn't read Scripture and you're hearing about Christ being a humble man from somebody in your church, was that their interpretation of it, which they got from somebody else because they didn't read the Bible neither? John Piana, I love him to death. He's a great guy. He's a Catholic forever. Goes to church every Sunday. Used to bring his little kiddies, 3 little girls, wife, everything. He didn't have a Bible. He didn't own a Bible. He didn't have a Bible in his house. Catholic church every Sunday. He owned a pest company, a pest control company, and he made good money. He worked every day, well, just about every day of his life. And when he wasn't working, he would go out and hunt deer, sit up in a tree for hours on end, waiting for a deer to walk around. Of course, he'd put some urine or something down there and buy a scat or buy I forget what they call it, where the deer clear out a place to lay down. Or the bucks spread out the sty, I don't know, whatever. I used to bring, when he would tell me that he had wounded a deer, because he's up in a tree and he's aiming down at him using a bow and arrow, or using a crossbow. The arrows would go all the way through the deer and hit the ground underneath, and it would go through their stomach, through the shoulder, through the back of the shoulder, down through the heart. Well, look, that's what he's aiming for, down through the heart and the stomach, and rip through the stomach, and you would follow the deer if it got away by the leaking corn and blood, because I would help him. Well, he hired me to do this, help him mix up. We would go to the orchards, apple orchards, and we'd get these large 55-gallon or larger containers and fill them up full of apples, pick them off the trees. I think I broke my rib picking an apple. Anyway, and we used to fill up these things with the apples, bring them back to his house, and then he would buy corn, like this big fat kernels of corn that I'd be using for teeth now. I'd paint them white and use them for teeth. And dentists could too. They sure can't cure one. And he would shoot the deer and we'd butcher him up, and he'd give the meat away, which was nice of him. I mean, he wouldn't give it away. I mean, he'd of course keep the back straps in. But he would give me some for helping him, is what I mean. A lot of death around John. Very good, cool stories too, though, that happened with him. When I first came up here from Florida, after being gone for 30 years, I went to see John. I always liked John, I always did. But I noticed he got cheap and greedy and skin-flinty when I came back after 30 years. Now, he may have... Now, his dad, he told me one time, his dad never uses his blinkers because he doesn't want to wear out the bulb. And I really understand that. I absolutely understand it. I think his dad had the same car for maybe 30 years. He's had the same car. I mean, he probably hasn't changed the bulbs in it either. Why isn't this thing helping me? I'm going to play one for the Lord first, like always. Glory be to God, as usual, always. These insights come from the Lord, mostly, unless I start talking hate, and of course that's coming from me. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Lead us not to temptation. Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us too. I could have gone on for hours. Roll away the stone, keep her at home, going is the way to try. I keep you from love on eternity. You can ride through the light, on the light, Jesus Christ. In the Lord, you got to love everyone. Friend, I love them so much, my enemies. Oh, I pray for them, I know, at my ease. Jesus Christ, getting nice, under the big tree, see us. Don't let your hate grow free, I love everything that lies. Go, leave him alone, let your love glow, rolling stone, Jesus Christ, love's not twice, lay him down, happy kid, rolling ready, Christ is the woman, blood and spirit, the water, blood and spirit. Oh, 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 the water, blood and spirit. I'll be back.